I'm Rushalee. I am the writer of The Legend of TLOA. It took me about 2 years to write this musical, and I think the idea kind of came out of me, like I grew up loving fantasy and reading all of these fantasy books, and I just didn't see myself represented in it very often. There are very few fantasy books when I was growing up that had like characters of color, strong female characters of color, queer characters. And so I really wanted to just kind of write that representation into a fantasy story the way that I always wanted to be represented in it. What I really loved about the queer aspect of this musical is that right when I started writing it, I was kind of figuring out my own sexuality. I'm bi, if you didn't know. And so when I came up with the concept, I knew there was going to be a love story in it somewhere. I knew that was an important part of it. But I originally thought it was going to be a straight romance, and then as I started figuring out that I was bi, I thought, wait, what if it was gay? Like, why not just have a queer romance in there? And what I love about it is that I didn't change anything else about the love story. It's the exact same love story as if it were straight, and they don't really struggle from like being oppressed by society. The struggles in their relationship come from everything else that's happening around them. And I think it's totally valid to tell queer stories that are about being oppressed by society, because obviously that's something that does happen, and those are stories that need to be told. But I also think there's a lot of power in just normalizing queerness, and that's what I really wanted to do with this story. As far as like the writing process, it was a roller coaster. I'm like extremely type A. Well, first of all, it's a fantasy musical, so I did a lot of world building, but then I also did like a lot of outlining. I can show you actually. This is my outline. This is half of it actually. There are another 2 pages of this. It was a lot of outlining to figure out the plot, and what was really frustrating is that I kept writing songs as I was supposed to be outlining. And so I would write a new song and be like, oh, I know exactly where this goes, but now I have to like change what I've already written to go into this song, or it would be the other way around, and I would be like, oh, I've written this part of the book, and it dovetails into a song, but now I have to write the song, and I don't know what this song is yet. So I went back and forth a lot, and the story and the song kind of grew around each other. I didn't write any of them in order, by the way. Like, I think the first song that I wrote, it's towards the end of Act 1, and I'm not gonna spoil anything. You'll have to see it for yourself, but it is kind of a big turning point for Emma, and the rest of the story kind of grew out of that, but I didn't write any of the songs in order. It was a little crazy. Somehow I got it done. But it was kind of a weird way of writing the musical. It was not linear in any way, so I guess that shows that there's no like one way to write something. If I have any advice for people who want to write, if you have a story that you want to tell, just write it. Like, just start writing it and don't get in your head about it, because I had so many moments of like, what I put down on paper is never going to be as good as what's in my head, and write something down and you can fix it later, because otherwise it's just gonna live in your head forever. And also, like, write your own opportunities if you're a theater maker. No one's gonna write your dream role for you. Getting to write this character, Emma, who was like the fantasy character that I so wanted to be, that I wanted to see in books, getting to write her and then getting to play her was just, it was so much fun and such a dream come true. So if you wanna see yourself playing a role, just write it. Like, write your own role. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So I guess that's it for me. Please go and get your ticket. Link and everything is on our social media, and please donate to Vibe if you can. They're doing amazing work, and if you have the means to donate, that would be really appreciated. I hope you enjoyed the show.